Here, Anmol Palace. Plaza, acha, behind. Okay. Raman. Naman. And you are Gurpreet. Gurupreet or Gurpreet? Gurpreet. Double E or single I? Then, Naman. Which school? Same school. Bal. Bal, you from which school? Check. DAV. Good. Avnish. AV. A double ESH, right now? Okay? Varad. Acha, Varad. Varad, which school? Green fingers. Lady fingers or green fingers? Huh? Green fingers. And? Palwar. Where is it? 12 year only. No. क्या नाम है आपका? Wait, what is it? Bharti. Which school? Varad, you are from Green Fingers. On this side, Shreya. SH? Y. Good. At which school? DAV Panvel. Aditi. Aditi, which school you from? Balkan. Shraddha, you are from? A double E or single D? Double. Srinidhi, yes. SHR or SRI? SR. Srinidhi. What child is there? Srinidhi Nerul also. Sister what? No. Okay. So good. Good to see you back. But, for example, what you say, the school also has started, isn't it? Now, which topic they have started? Matter in our surroundings, right? Have you started? In your school, you have started this chapter. Gurpreet, कौन सा topic start किया है? अच्छा, पूरा school starting नहीं हुआ. आप लोग का school start हो गया, and then end भी हो गया, खत्म भी हो गया, नहीं ना? Right? चलो ठीक है, आज हम लोग topic start करते हैं. What is that? Matter. In our surroundings. ठीक है? Matter in our surroundings. All of you ready? Keep your volume, your textbook, your notebook, pen, pencil, compass box on the desk, so that you need to take that, isn't it? So before we start with this session, very important, because we are starting with one of the important session of your career. What is that? 9th standard is the stepping stone for 10th standard. Clear? And because it's our first session, so what we can do is that we will try to pray to the supernatural forces, right? Upstairs, sitting in the sense present upstairs. Pray करके फिर आगे बढ़ते हैं. क्यों? Gurpreet, right ना? What you'll do, whatever prayers you do at home, and moreover, you have to be thankful that you are actually what? You passed out with flying colors in your 8th standard. Here, and with same, energy, you should have that energy to go for your higher standard and further 9 years of study. उसके बाद और 9-10 साल आपको पढ़ना है, ठीक है कि नहीं? Graduation, post graduation, PhD, etc. So you have to do at least 9 years of studies. So for that, what you will do? Just a short prayer. Okay, whatever prayer you do at home, prayer, just close your eyes. First, be thankful to your parents. Take blessings of your parents first by keeping your eyes closed, and then pray for those who have given the board exam, plus all the crucial examinations or would like to give, would be giving in the near future. Pray for them that everything goes well. Then pray for yourself that yes, all the unit test in UT plus in school, you should have that much energy to write the exam and moreover come out with excellent marks, excellent knowledge you should get. Pray for your neighbors, children who are actually not giving the exam, relatives, I mean everybody in fact. 30 seconds. Pray for everybody and for yourself. Whatever prayer you do at home. If the rub your palms, you may rise, slowly open your eyes. Okay. Okay, so this way we have to go for, for example, our further studies. Now, matter in our surroundings. So first of all, what is matter? Matter is anything which has mass, right? And occupies space. For example, here, this particular marker is a matter. Why? Because it is having mass and occupies space. This particular laptop over here is having mass and occupies space. The air which is there inside this room is also occupying space and has mass. Yes or no? Likewise, for example, this fan having, for example, mass and occupies space. Am I right? So anything which is actually what has mass and occupies space is called as matter. Okay? So that is the definition of what? That means one can say, for example, chair, air, fan, and this marker, this duster, your book in front of you, isn't it? Then we say, for example, smell. Getting some smell. Now, smell is what? Smell only is what? Or we can say, sir, I have a love for burger. Like McDonald's ka jo ad and I'm loving it. So is love, smell, are they matter? Are they taking space? So they are not in this particular, for example. They don't occupy space, they don't have mass. So that means this smell, okay? But if I take smell of perfume, yes or no? Then it is, because perfume particles, it goes into your nose and you feel nice. Right now? Okay, likewise, for example, sir, I'm feeling cold. Gurpreet, aram se relax. All of you relax, nothing to worry. Just cold. Sir, I'm having cold. If somebody says I'm having cold, then you look at the face of that child and I think so he's not feeling well, he's feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Yes or no? Or sometimes who I say, ऐसे करते रहेंगे तो क्या होगा मालूम? But if it doesn't do that, I'm not able to get the idea, right? But then if he says, sir, I'm having cold drink. I'm drinking that aerated water. So cold drink क्या है? Cold is smell of perfume. Yes. Love. No. Smell. No. Okay. So यहाँ पे आपको याद रखना. Then what are these? These are antimatter. Matter का opposite क्या है? And antimatter means what? Energy. They're in the form of energy. Feelings, emotions, वो सब energy में आएगा. Antimatter. Right? Okay? Got my point? Okay. So now what is important? So we'll not discuss about these part because what different topic is. Okay? This particular part. smell of perfume, cold drink. Now matter, but what is important over here, if I take, for example, let us say this particular, let us say custard. Now it looks like one big piece, yes or no? But what happens when actually what I start cutting it, it break into small pieces. I further break it down. Again, it becomes what, smaller and smaller. Means what? This particular one big piece of matter, okay, is made up of n number of small particles. N number of, we can say large number of particles. Yes or no? That means every matter is made up of what? Particles. Now that means each particular matter is called as what? Particulate matter. Matter में क्या है? Particles है, तो उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Particulate matter. Matter contains particles. What are the characteristics of particles? Characteristics of particles are nothing but what? Particles are continuously moving. Yes or no? Like air flowing from that place to this place. So particles of air are moving, yes or no? Are you moving to take the air? No. They are coming in your nose and you are able to get oxygen. You are exhaling carbon dioxide going out of your nose or your system, and then finally they are traveling around. So that means what is happening? They are continuously moving. Second is, for example, one particle attracts another particle. Yes or no? How? Attraction may differ, but in this particular marker, okay, the particles are attracting. How? And I try to break it. I'm not able to. Because they are holding each other. This finger, all of you keep in this manner. ऐसे रखो और उसको देखो क्या हो रहा है? Gurpreet, is your finger becoming longer? Means what? Particles are held back. इसका मतलब क्या है? Force of gravity is there, pulling it down, but they are remaining as it is. इसका मतलब क्या है? They are having attraction between them. Yes or no? They are holding one another, and as a result, they attract each other. They attract, particles attract. Likewise, if the particles are moving, then they are having one type of energy, kinetic energy. So any energy which is associated with the motions of particles is called kinetic energy. Get it? What is kinetic energy? Energy which makes the particles move. Water in the dam is having potential energy. But जैसे वो आउटलेट ओपन किए, लाइक जो नल में पानी है, पानी जब तक वो टैप बंद है तो पानी जाएगा बाहर नहीं. It is having potential energy. जैसे ऑन करते हो, the water falls down. What is that falling of water? Kinetic energy. Anything falling down, anything moving is possessing kinetic. There are two types of energy: kinetic and potential. Potential is related with position or when the things are stationed, right? But when they move, they have kinetic. So when anything moving, kinetic. Just like that kinetic Honda scooter. उसका नाम क्यों kinetic रखा है? Because it's always moving, na? Means we have to station it also, but every time we do, after every half an hour, 1 hour, you require that scooter to move from one place to another, right? Na? Okay. Now kinetic. At the same time, okay, the particles, okay, they have a tendency to mix up. This mixing property of one set of particles with the other is called as what? Diffusion. Like for example, here in the kitchen, okay, mommy is preparing, for example, samosas. And you are sitting over here, reading that book. It's 9th standard book. Suddenly what happens? The particles of that samosas, vapors in the kitchen, they start mixing with the air and come in your nose. Nose, man. You're quite far away, but you get that aroma, that smell of that particular, those particles of spices or the vapors, the air containing those spices in the form of vapor. And therefore, one can say this. What is it? It is nothing but what? Diffusion. Or forget about this. So whenever anything hot, sizzling, always the smell comes faster. Why? Because kinetic energy is more. They move faster. But when cold samosas are kept, the smell doesn't reach. You come to, I think so it's not hot. Okay, not hot sizzling, but anything which is actually what, for example, very much, we can say, for example, hot. What happens? The smell comes faster to you. Yes or no? Whether it's vegetable or dal or anything for that matter. Now, what is important over here? Likewise, when you burn incense sticks, agarbatti, so one corner of the room, you actually would burn that agarbatti. You find that smell actually what the particles of that agarbatti travel in all the direction. Yes or no? That means the particles are continuously moving. Diffusion. The mixing, intermixing of these particles. Here, kinetic energy continuously moving. Likewise, they are made up of what small particles. This is already first point. At the same time, the matter is actually what divided into three parts. That means actually matter can be divided into what? Three states on the basis of what? Okay, on the basis of the shape and volume. If suppose, for example, you are having a solid, okay, for example, matter can exist as solid where the particles of that solid are what? Are very much packed together. Yes or no? These are particles. If a circle है वो क्या है children? Particles. Right? The particles are well packed. And due to the well packing, they have a definite volume and definite what shape. Now what I do, I take this solid and start heating it. Let us say, for example, this solid is ice cube. When I heat it, I find that particular solid changes into what? Liquid water. And the particles little bit go away from one another. Yes or no? And the forces of attraction between these particles is what? Is less. Why? Because distance has become greater. Between them, the attractive forces become less. Why? Because they are going further away from each other. Yes or no? The red marking क्या है? Attraction. And due to this, what actually happens? They don't have they have a definite volume, but they don't have a shape. That is, the shape changes. Why? Because particles have become quite away from little bit away from each other, and as a result, they occupy or they change their shape. They can change the shape. Why? Because the forces have become weaker, and here the forces are stronger, and as a result, ice is rigid. When I put it in a particular vessel and try to change the shape, can I change the shape of this particular marker? No. Why? Because rigid form. Okay, now what is important over here? तो कहाँ था rigid? They are rigid. Why? Because अगर तुम इसको actually what, for example, you try to actually what, change the shape, you are not able to change. Why? Forces are very strong. Rigid. Solids are always rigid, but liquids are flexible. You take a glass of, for example, a glass in this manner, and you put that particular, liquid in this, it will attain the shape of what? This one, yes or no? But same liquid you take in a, for example, a cold drink bottle, yes or no? Or this bottle, suppose. आजकल ऐसे bottle मिल रहे हैं बहुत, right ना? और इसमें डाल दो तो ये shape कैसे हो जाएगा? Yes or no? You take the, for example, another glass this way, right? ये क्या हो जाएगा? यहाँ पे देखो shape कैसे है? ये अलग ही shape है ना? I mean, zigzag type of, ऊपर ऐसा curve type of. So what it tells us that the shape is different. Now this particular point at which a solid changes into liquid, now this is happening at a certain temperature, and that temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, and we find ice is converting into liquid water, and the process is called what? Melting. Yes or no? And that temperature at which this is happening is called melting point. Right now? What we call it as melting point. Like your friend is calling you and then you find, अरे let us meet at that point, right ना? Sector 21 का वहां पे let us say advertisement board है, उसके नीचे meeting point रहेगा, वहां सब मिलेंगे हम लोग. लास्ट एग्जाम के जिस दिन खत्म होगा उसके लास्ट डे हम लोग वहां पे वो मीटिंग प्लेस होगा. क्यों? Let us enjoy one burger or some samosas or something because अपना एग्जाम हो गया. So let us enjoy today. Within 2 or 3 days again we'll start with a new session. So let us enjoy for 2 days, 1 or 2 days, and then we'll start. So some group of students they meet at certain point. So ये point पे जो temperature पे, now in this case it is the temperature at which the solid changes to liquid, that is called melting point at a given pressure. ये pressure भी important है, but for solids changing into liquid pressure का effect कम रहता है. This pressure, room pressure, air का pressure we can say, that is also called atmospheric pressure. Physics में आपने पढ़ा होगा atmospheric दबाव create करता है. Okay, अच्छा अब इसके बाद देखो, okay, ये रब कर दे, आगे ना स्मेल तो आ गया सबको, फ्रेग्रेंस आ गया ना. अब इसके आगे बढ़, ये भी थोड़ा रब कर, बिकॉज़ ये सब you know, ठीक है. कुछ डाउट है तो ask, if you have any kind of imaginative kind of thing, sir ऐसा I have observed, so you can tell us also, nothing to it. And this is solid, so this is what children, yes, आराम से पढ़ना है. We have to study, gain knowledge. Knowledge भी important है, marks तो मिलता ही रहेगा, marks पे ज्यादा ध्यान मत दो. Knowledge मिलेगा, marks automatically तुमको follow करेंगे. तुम उल्टा करते हो, सर मुझे marks नहीं मिले, मेरे जब नॉलेज है उसका अच्छी तरह आंसर लिखोगे, क्वालिटी आंसर, तब जाके मार्क्स मिलेगा ना. सब मार्क्स के पीछे लगे हैं. नॉलेज इज तो कंटिन्यूअस रीड सो मेनी बुक्स, रेफरेंस बुक रीड करो, अपना टेक्स्ट बुक के बाद रेफरेंस, सम अदर थिंग, डोंट जस्ट सी यूट्यूब. नहीं तो क्या होगा, उसमें यूट्यूब में बहुत सारे अलग अलग उन लोगों का ये बाइफरकेशन. टेक सम गुड बुक्स, उसमें से रेफर. ओके, liquid. Now what I do, I just start heating this further. When I heat it, what happens? That particular heat breaks these forces. Forces break हो जाएंगे चल, क्योंकि वो heat से क्या होगा, ये molecules टूट जाएंगे, ये molecules दूर दूर हो जाएंगे, और क्या हो जाएगा immediately, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, each and every particle एक दूसरे से दूर दूर हो जाएगी, और attractive forces negligible हो जाएगी. That time what we can say, forces are negligible. इन लोगों के बीच में जो forces है, जहाँ पे यहाँ maximum था, यहाँ पे कम है, और यहाँ पे minimum, and therefore they will not have a definite volume, no definite shape. Then that state of matter is called as what? Yes, somewhere. So on the basis of, we can say, for example, volume and shape, we can classify the solid at the same temperature. यानी ये room temperature तो आपको क्या मिलेगा? Where is the bottle of water? पानी का बॉटल है आपके पास? नहीं, किसी के पास पानी का बॉटल नहीं है, कोई ला रहा नहीं है. हाँ, देखो किधर है? अरे ये बंद है, रहने दो, ठीक है. मैंने सोचा ट्रांसपेरेंट बॉटल है तो उसमें दिखा सकते हैं लिक्विड, ठीक है ना. पानी पियो, बीच में जो पानी पीना पड़ेगा, 2-2 घंटे का लेक्चर है ना. हाँ, लुक एट दिस ब्यूटीफुल वाटर. यहाँ पे देखिए आर्मी बॉटल, आर्मी का जो पैंट रहता है ना, ऐसा zigzag pivot है. ये देखो, now this water is movable, you can see this. So particles are continuously moving. Now let me tell you one thing. You say, sir, is this solid में भी movement है? But very very little. क्योंकि यहाँ पे हम लोग हिल ही नहीं पा रहे. क्यों? Strong forces. But some kind of vibratory motion is there on this. In atom particles थोड़ा सा move करेंगे little bit. But this movement at this room temperature may not be seen. But high temperature में movement रहेगा. Remember. Okay? So this is something liquid you can see. Okay, but very good. Thank you. This is one thing. Now what is important over here? Can a solid be compressed? The most compressed state of matter is this. Why? अगर तुम ये डस्टर को compress कर रहे हो, ये देखो, मेरा हाथ टूट जाएगा लेकिन ये compress नहीं होगा. कैसे? यहाँ से क्या हो रही है? ऑलरेडी compress, अंदर जगह ही नहीं जाने का. यानी कुछ तुम compress कर रहे हो लेकिन अंदर जगह होना चाहिए ना, वो अंदर नहीं जा सकता. So these solids cannot be compressed. अब liquid को भी आप compress करेंगे, जैसे वो bottle में अगर पानी है, suppose एक boundary से तुम ऐसा press करो, पानी बीच-बीच में gap से ऊपर आना शुरू हो जाएगा. Yes or no? Liquids also cannot be compressed because that is a compressed state of matter. But gas can be compressed. Your LPG, CNG, right? Na? LNG, they are compressed state of matter. And when you are filling in the gas station, if you must have heard, जैसे वो pipe निकालते हैं, suddenly एक sound आता है, right? Na? What it indicates? So much of pressure is there. With so much of pressure, we are pumping the gas inside. I mean, from a large volume to a small, from a large container of the cylinder to a small container. So immediately, what happens? It produces a sound. Clear? So here, what is happening? Gases can be compressed because a small container में हम डाल सकते हैं gas. Our oxygen cylinders, you must have seen those cylinders. So gas pressure से डालना. Here, of course, pressure is an important factor. Before we understand this, one more thing. When you heat it, this liquid converting into gas is called as what? Boiling. Or boiling process, and the temperature at which this is happening when a liquid water converts into, and what is the temperature at which liquid water converts into water vapor? This 100 degrees Celsius. Boiling point. That means, and now you say, sir, if I want to just reverse this process, reverse means what? You cool it. There, what do you do? Instead of heating, you cool it. When you start cooling it, make the temperature below 100 degrees Celsius and very, further to room temperature. What will happen? This gas will start attracting each other. They will come closer. Of course, by applying pressure, they will come closer. At one point of time, they will have attractive forces. That is called as what? Condensation point. जहाँ पे gas condense हो रहा है. You must have seen when you remove ice cold water from the refrigerator. What actually happens? जो ice cold refrigerator से जब तुम actually वो पानी निकल रहे हो, तो क्या हो जाएगा? You see, यहाँ पे कुछ tiny droplets of air gets condensed, na? Yes or no? And then here, they start trickling down, and here you will find that liquid is actually you. That means this liquid has not come out. The outside that air which is there, okay, has been condensed because of the cooler, lower temperature. So when temperature becomes low, these air particles get condensed. Condensation point. A room temperature भी हो सकता, but below 100 degrees Celsius, where there is a boiling point. Now further you cool it. When you cool it further down, what happens? Below zero, immediately you will find the liquid converts into ice. Like for example, Antarctica. Antarctica temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius. Always you will find what? That water converts back into ice. But the moment the temperature rises, okay, above zero, what will happen? The ice changes into liquid water. Okay, this is called freezing point. So if you want water to become ice, what you do? You put in the freezer. And after some time, you will say, sir, it has become ice cubes in the tray. What is that? That is called freezing. So what are the 4 important terms? Melting, boiling, condensation, and freezing. Okay? Again, any doubt you have? So what we have done, 3 important points. What is that? What is matter? What is it made up of? What are the characteristics of matter? And third is, how many states of matter? 3 states. For solid, liquid, and gas. You will say, sir, after that, I'll tell you afterwards. Very early. Thank you. Done? Over? Right? Bharat? क्या ना? सबका हो गया? आराम से just write एकदम peacefully, no hurry. Because hurry means hurry means worry. When you're writing in a hurried manner, you get worried, sir, and it's silly mistake. आराम से कीजिए, कोई जल्दबाजी मत, क्या ना? Question आराम से हो जाए. Find topics and lined up for you only. Where we are going to do it. Sir, how the question got over? So much of ease. Yeah, na? This समझ में आया?
Sir, light is a matter. Is light a matter?
Yeah, light is actually a combination of matter and energy. And it is made of particles as well as wave. Now, let me tell you one thing. बहुत ही अच्छा question पूछा. Light is a matter, but it is also an antimatter. Means what? Light has got, every matter is actually what has got dual nature. ठीक है? Dual nature का मतलब है पार्टिकल से भी बना है और पार्टिकल से भी नहीं बना है. क्योंकि देखो, am I able to catch light? But when you see the particles, ठीक है? Like light is passing through certain medium, ठीक है? Then you find that these particles they strike on a particular area, like laser. Laser is what? Agar light is made of particles, so what it does? It passes. Suppose I'm having a stone in the kidney or maybe gallbladder. Stone is like solid particle. Laser beam is nothing but what? Beam of light. But if it is made up of particles, so ye particle, light particles will strike on that stone, will crack that particular stone into smaller one. Because एक particle is दूसरे particle को तोड़ सकता है. Like a hammer is a matter. Why is able to break a stone? Why? Because stone is a particle. The hammer is also particle. So likewise, when the light passes through, like how they treat our eyes through laser only. So light is also made up of particles. Because when the light is concentrated, then the particles they come closer, and then they strike. But when they are like, because why I'm not able to catch? Because they are scattered. When they are scattered, I am not able to, and they are so fine that we are not able to get the idea. In fact, I have caught hold of some light particles, but I am not able to show you. So light is having dual nature. Like you are having a dual role. What is that? At this moment, you are playing a role of a student, but at home you are playing the role of a child for your parents. Yes or no? For me also, you are a child only at this moment. As a parent, you can consider me. But what I'm saying, officially, अगर देखेंगे, so you are acting as a student now. So you are having how many roles? 2 roles. यहाँ पे student जैसा behave कर रहे हो, घर में you'll be behaving like unofficially as a child. Alright? Dual, सबका dual nature. तो हर चीज का dual nature. Like this marker on the planet Earth is a particle. यही अगर Mars में होगा, तो शायद it might be in the form of antimatter. We never know. Right ना? Means अगर मैं material हूँ planet Earth में, तो कोई दूसरे planet में or some other part of the universe, I may be acting as a antimatter. Yes or no? We never know because वहाँ का condition क्या होगा? We never know. So everybody is having what nature? Dual nature. But at your level, we consider these three states of matter. The fourth state of matter is what? Plasma. What is plasma? When you heat that, for example, let us say you are having a campfire. Just see the above the fire. You'll find some liquid, for example, wavy kind of pattern you get. That is plasma. Then next is what? Laser and laser beam. Laser means what? For example, that particular light beam, which is actually what? Strong enough to break a particle. So laser, beam of light, intensity, light intensity, we can say. Sixth state of matter, mind, thought waves. Like you're sitting over here thinking about various concepts of this chapter. Mind wave. Seventh, God. Seventh state of matter. So right from the plasma, everything is considered as what? Antimatter. Remember. But you are having in your 9th standard only gaseous because this is matter, last state of matter. You have to feel person. Sir, I'm feeling that air coming on my to this fan. air, gas. Okay, or I'm getting some kind of good smell due to this gaseous substance or some kind of, for example, when you're carrying out some experiment in the chemistry lab, you get some smell of the gas. Some children are doing chemistry practicals. Yes or no? The smell se मालूम पड़ रहा है कि वो gas state. Okay. So what is important is that these are three states of matter. Now what is important is that when they are interchangeable, that means they are interconvertible. A solid can change into liquid, a liquid can change into gas, but they all exist at the same room temperature and pressure, we can say, at same condition. आपको लिक्विड भी मिल रहा है, आपको सॉलिड भी है, ठीक है, और गैस भी है, सब चीज एक ही साथ है, ठीक है, but under different properties. Here the properties are what? They have definite volume but definite shape. Here they have definite volume but no definite shape. Here they have no definite volume and no definite shape. Here the freedom of motion is minimum. Here freedom of motion is more. Here freedom of motion is maximum. That is, here the movement is much higher. Here movement is less. Here movement is restricted. Okay. Now what is important over here is that we are dealing with the next part of this topic, and what is that? When we talk about this matter, okay, matter like solids, liquids, and gas, they have a tendency to diffuse, yes or no? Now diffusion means what? Mixing property, yes or no? Now when you're talking about solids, they cannot diffuse to that great extent. यानी अगर आपने for example कोई liquid solid में डाला, they are not able to spread out that much. But if you take for example some amount of honey, okay, in water, ये water है, ठीक है, और इसमें तुमने अपना honey डाल दिया, तो क्या हो जाएगा? The honey is able to what pass through and then finally what mix up completely. You leave it as it is, धीरे-धीरे mix होता जाएगा, right ना? What is that? Liquids, they diffuse more. And gases also have a tendency to diffuse. Gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, they have a tendency to get dissolved. That's why in seawater or river water, we find dissolved oxygen, yes or no? That's why aquatic life are able to survive. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर ऑक्सीजन नहीं होगा तो इन लोग ऊपर आना पड़ेगा. But dissolved oxygen is there. Diffusion, mixing property is called diffusion. So it's a very important property. So हर चीज में mix, these substances can mix up. Of course, gases can mix up in the solid also. Gases can mix up in the liquid. But एक solid दूसरे solid में mix up थोड़ा सा difficult होगा. It can mix up like alloys which we are forming. Nothing but solid type of mixture. Right now, brass, bronze, German silver, ये सब क्या है? Alloys, steel, handle of अपना जो है ये सब alloys, इनको नहीं तो rust हो जाता था. अगर एक ही metal like iron का हो, ठीक है ना? Okay, normally अपना जो door handle है सब brass से बना रहता है. Normally, okay, तो tough रहता है और वो non-corrosive. Okay, now what is important over here? After this, we will not go further. We will discuss about one more important thing, that every matter is made up of what? Large number of tiny particles. Right now, if they are made of particles, okay, how do I recognize that they are made up of particles? Okay, let us see. You take a container and you take some amount of water in that and take 1 teaspoonful of sugar and put it inside. Sugar, go inside, particles, clear? And before you actually what add it, you note down the level of this. The level either. And you take a stirrer, okay, and stir it. When you stir it, these particles will become what? Small and smaller, and they will start fitting into what? Those small gaps between these liquid particles. But the level of that particular liquid will not change. Am I right or not? Means these substances are made up of what? Small particles which go inside those spaces of this liquid, and as a result, the level of water will never increase. That's why the sugar particle is made up of large number of, one small particle is made up of large number of particles. Likewise, you can say, for example, this particular kind of thing also can be existing in this manner. You take, for example, some amount of water and put some 1 grain or 2 grains of potassium permanganate. The potassium permanganate is herbicide, okay, which we had used in where during pandemic while washing the vessels, na, we can use this. 2-3 grain डाल दो आप पानी में और उसको वो पिंक कलर दे देगा, पर्पल कलर या पिंक कलर, एंड देन उससे वो वेसल उसके अंदर डाल के निकाल दो, जो भी जर्म्स रहेंगे उसके वेसल में वो क्लीन हो जाएगी, ये किल हो जाएगी. पोटेशियम परमैंगनेट पर्पल कलर का ऐसे बॉटल में मिलता है, देखा आपने, लिया था ना. पेंटाबे को बहुत लोगों ने यूज किया because phenyl and all those things were not available. Sanitizer was not available and at the same time it was costly, so people they thought this is much cheaper and much more effective than that. तो ये यूज कर, ठीक है, okay, means cleaning a vessel with soaps, but along with that ये to prevent, okay. Now the moment, so this purple color or pink color used to actually what come out very strongly, ठीक है, purple color पूरा आ गया 100 ml पानी. Now you take another vessel in which you have taken 90 ml of water, and then take a test tube, okay, of let us say 10 ml, 10 ml, और इसमें इसको थोड़ा 10 ml ले लेने का, इसे यहाँ तक सपोज 10 ml पूरा भर लेने का और इसको इसमें डाल देंगे. जैसे इसमें डालेंगे तो क्या होगा, अगेन 100 ml हो गया इसमें, and 100 ml में क्या हो जाएगा, this liquid, this particular color would be becoming faded, yes or no, means pink color रहेगा but इससे कम रहेगा. Take 10 ml of this solution, okay, and then for example make again 90 ml of water in the third beaker. Take 10 ml of this and then pour into this. Pink color will become less and lesser, yes or no? Means what it tells us that one single particle was converting into what? 2 smaller or 3 smaller particles or 5, and they were further converting into what? Still smaller, okay, and still smaller, and finally what? The solution will become almost like water only. That means it is made up of large number of tiny particles. ठीक है कि नहीं? यानी एक ग्रेन आपने लिया, उसका देखो कितने पार्टिकल्स बने. समझ में? चलो, now let us start reading this concept. ठीक है? Okay, चलो, first, what is the time left now? Time बचा है कि नहीं? 10, very good. 10 minutes में हम लोग read करेंगे. चलो, we'll start from Shreya. पढ़िए. Page number 1. Introduction. One sentence everybody will read, so that any point which you have missed out from these notes, you will be able to gather. Okay?
Introduction. Everything in this universe is made up of material which scientists have named matter. Everything is matter. As we look around, all the things occupy space and have mass. In other words, they have both mass and volume. Early Indian philosophers classified matters in the form of 5 basic elements. The
Panch Tattva. What is Panch? Panch. Tattva means elements, substances. Now, which are those Pancha Tattva? We are made up of Pancha Tattva. Means what? We are made up of mud. Our skin is like mud. Earth. Second is our air layer. Air, oxygen. Okay? Third is what? Water. Our body is 70%. Our weight is actually water. Then what about the space? We always should have 80% of our, for example, available capacity of stomach. 80% तक fill करना है, because ऊपर थोड़ा space रखना पड़ेगा stomach को, जिससे कि digestion अच्छी तरह हो जाए. पर हम लोग overfill कर लेते हैं, और फिर बाद में बाहर से I've taken, I've eaten till here, और फिर आपको सांस लेने को नहीं होता. क्यों? बहुत ज़्यादा खा रहे हो, उसको थोड़ा space रखना पड़ेगा. So then, and then last but not the least, what is that? Fire. Fire is there in the stomach, which is combustion process. यहाँ पे अपना digestion होगा. Like a kitchen of the stomach, kitchen of our body is stomach, isn't it? क्या बोल रहे हो? Right, ना? चलो, पढ़ो. Next one.
Modern day scientists have evolved 2 types of classification of matter based on their physical properties.
बस एक sentence बोला, actually no problem. You got bonus. आगे बढ़ो.
Physical nature of matter.
Aditya na? Good.
Physical nature of matter. Matter is made up of particles. Particles of matter are there are millions of tiny particles in this one crystal of substance which keep on dividing themselves into smaller and smaller pieces.
Yes, very good. Next one.
Characteristics of
Shraddha, na?
characteristics of particles of matter. Particles of matter have spaces between them. Particles of one type of matter get into the spaces between particles.
Yes.
This shows that there is enough space between particles of matter. However, the original template table does not use. Particles of matter are continuously moving. Particles of matter are continuously moving. That is, they possess what we call kinetic energy. As the temperature rises, particles faster.
Yes.
Increase the temperature, the kinetic energy of the particles also.
Very good. Gurpreet, पढ़िए. पढ़िए. Naman.
Particles have interparticle spaces. Particles of matter intermix on their own with each other.
Intermixing. What is that? Diffusion. Then
They do so by getting into the spaces between the particles. This intermixing of particles of two different types of matter on their own is called diffusion. On heating, diffusion becomes faster.
faster. Yes. चलो.
Particles of
Gurpreet,
matter-
बोलिए.
Particles of matter. Then this-
States of matter. Matter around us exists in these different states: solid, liquid, and gas. These states of matter are as due to variation in characteristics of the particles of matter.
The solid state. Solids are which is state on these volumes. And this they have reduced properties. They have an tendency to maintain the shape that they when subjected to outside. And may
बहुत ही सुंदर way में पढ़ रहे हैं. थोड़ा louder.
but it is difficult to change their shape.
Very
They
good.
are-
Richard, next one.
The liquid state, liquids have no fixed state but have a fixed volume.
Yes.
They take up the shape of the container in which they are kept. Liquids flow and change shape, so they are not rigid but can be called a fluid.
Solids and liquids can be diffused into liquids. The gases from the atmosphere diffuse the dissolved in water.
Solids can diffuse. What is that? Sugar particles can diffuse in liquid water. Salt dissolves. Dissolve का मतलब है diffuse हो सकता है. चलो next.
These gases, especially oxygen and carbon dioxide, are essential for
Carbonated drink. That is aerated water. What is that? Pepsi, Coke. ये सब क्या है? Containing carbon dioxide. Sprite. और कौन सा है Gurpreet? हाँ? Pepsi और Coca-Cola और Sprite. Thumbs up और Fanta. ठीक है? ये सब में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. स्टिंग. ये क्या है? नया है कुछ? स्टिंग है. STING. ओके, नया एनर्जी ड्रिंक. चलो नेक्स्ट वन. गुड.
survivors of aquatic animals and plants. The aquatic animals can live underwater due to the presence of dissolved oxygen in water.
वेरी गुड.
Thus, we may conclude that solid, liquid, and gases can diffuse into liquid. The rate of diffusion of liquid is higher than of solid. This is due to the fact that in the liquid state, particles move freely and have greater space between each other as compared to particles in the solid state.
हाँ, बहुत ही अच्छा पढ़ा. नेक्स्ट पढ़िए. श्रेया बोलिए.
The gaseous state. Gases are highly compressible as compared to solids and liquids. The liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) cylinder that we get in a home for cooking or the oxygen
Very good.
supplied to
बहुत ही अच्छा
hospitals
पढ़ रहे हैं आप.
and cylinders is compressed gas. Compressed natural gas is used as fuel. This is in vehicles. Due to its high compressibility, large volumes of the gas can be compressed.
Compress. Like for example, what is it? When we try to inflate our car tire, what is that? Compression only, na? You're compressing the air coming from some source and then putting in the car tire, but the pressure inside is so high. Moment you actually what open that wall, what happens? Comes out very strongly. The pressure under hai. Chalo, next one.
Into a small cylinder and transported easily.
Okay. Any other thing is there? Last part. Chalo, go.
Due to high speed of particles and large space between them, that's the alternative very fast and other gases. In the gaseous state, the particles move about randomly at high speed. These were the start and the particles between other and close.
Yes, this is very important. Particles are moving randomly, so they start hitting each other or one another. And not only that, they start banging on the walls of this vessel in which they are contained. And this force with which the molecules are striking is pressure. I don't know, back. It's a big back. यहाँ आवाज आ रहा है, इसका मतलब क्या है? For example, forces are exerted on this area, that is called pressure. So the pressure I like that. Yes or no? That is called pressure. So pressure is force exerted by the molecules on the walls of the vessel. And if more pressure, how more pressure will be developed? More quantity of gas will be filled here. More pressure. Good more molecules will more striking from the same area. Okay, so then over. That's a paragraph is half.
The pressure exerted by the gas is because of this force exerted by gas.
Yes.
For unit area of the wall of the
पर यूनिट एरिया ने 1 मीटर स्क्वायर के ऊपर कितने मॉलिक्यूल स्ट्राइक कर रहे हैं वो प्रेशर इंडिकेट कर। जैसे आपने एक रबर बैंड पहना है, रबर बैंड थोड़ी देर के बाद क्या आपको देगा? मार्किंग देगा ना। वही अगर बैंड पहना आपने, जैसे प्लेयर्स बैंड पहनते हैं लॉन टेनिस वाले प्लेयर, बिकॉज रिस्ट को थोड़ा सा जर्क नहीं मिले, बैडमिंटन प्लेयर, सो दे यूज दैट रिस्ट बेसिकली। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे कुछ अपना ज्यादा फ्रैक्चर नहीं हो जाए, थोड़ा सा ट्विस्ट नहीं हो जाए, बट अगर वो रबर बैंड पहनेगा तो यहाँ भी इंप्रेशन आएगा। भाई प्रेशर इज Oh, that's why some बोलते हैं ना, अरे इधर blood circulation should not stop, so don't wear that, you know, that rubber band type. You know, कभी-कभी people they just put it in carelessly. So blood circulation इतना stop नहीं होगा, but अगर ज़्यादा tight होगा, then you will feel that. Okay, so that is the meaning of it. Just an example because this is related to. So we have completed here. Next time we discuss about the remaining part, but the homework will be turn to the NCERT questions. Next page में NCERT questions है, देखिए। और आगे हाँ राइट उधर NCERT दिख रहा है ऊपर। 1 first question, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, A and B आपको पूरा लिख के लाना है नेक्स्ट। हाँ 1 पेज नंबर कौन सा है? हाँ 10 पेज नंबर लिखो, पेज नंबर 10 1 2 6 A B 6 का A और B पार्ट है, दोनों आपको लिख के लाना है। Then we'll have a short test on that day, ठीक है, wherein you will be writing 2 questions only without seeing. Okay, so you have to learn and write and then bring the homework and I will check the homework. Okay, so thank you very much. And any doubt that day you can ask. Okay, time is up. First day थोड़ा स्लो गए हम लोग, but next time थोड़ा सा गेन करेंगे, isn't it? स्पीड ठीक है ना? स्पीड मतलब शंका तो tell me I will repeat that.